show you all of my new place where I just moved because it's very much a work in progress. So I got back tonight from BAND-MAID's Acoustic OQG at Shibuya Line Cube. And the last time that they were there and that I was there was 4 years ago, 2020, February 13th and 14th. Or was it the 12th and 13th? Huh. I want to say the 13th and the 14th, right? Because Miku threw out some Kit Kats for Valentine's. And that was right when COVID just kind of had hit Japan, and we didn't know what was going to happen, and then things happened, right? That was the announcement of Budokan, and it's two. Oh, hold on, 1 second. Shoot. Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me now? Let's try this. Can you hear me now? Thumbs up? Okay? Yeah. I had just walked out with my dog. Okay. Let's start all over again. No? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I'm back. You should be able to hear me okay. Sorry guys. All right. So let's try that one more time. I'm coming to you live from Tokyo at my new place. For those who have been following my journey, it's been a long one. I finally got here, moved here on Monday. Now, I'm gonna try to avoid all of your chat questions or answers, whatever, so I can kind of get through things step by step, okay? All right, so I got back tonight from Shibuya Line Cube for BAND-MAID's Acoustic OQG. And the last time I was there was 4 years ago in 2020 when BAND-MAID did a back-to-back show, which is now a Blu-ray DVD, the Shibuya Line Cube show, which I think a lot of you love. We know there are videos like Domination that was amazing, Wonderland that was amazing. I mean, there are quite a few like highlights from that show. So it was nostalgic, but it was nostalgic not necessarily in the best way, because it was also sad, because that's when Budokan was announced, and then Budokan became Budon't-kan. Budo can't. It was very unfortunate. So now, before I get into the show, there have been a lot of announcements, and I want to do a little bit of house cleaning, because if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget. And as we know, BAND-MAID loves to pile on massive announcements one after the other. And today is no different. All right, I'm sure some of you have heard, you've seen, but it was just announced today, maybe like an hour ago, that BAND-MAID will be performing with The Warning on June 12th in Tokyo at X Theater Roppongi. It has about an 1,800 capacity, and there were a couple of people wondering, like, why is it so small? I think because the show is more part of the Warnings tour, because they also have two more shows in Japan. One is June 13th at Space Odd, and Space Odd is where who was that? Bride Year performed actually last year in November. They did 2 nights back to back, and the second night was the same night as Yokohama Arena. And then they're also playing June 14th in Osaka at Soma. I've never been to that venue, so, but I'm sure it's not as big because the Warning themselves as a band are not as big in Japan. So, but yeah, the capacity for X Theater is about 1,800, and BAND-MAID will be playing with them. Shouldn't it be Line Cube Shibuya? What should be Line Cube Shibuya? Okay, I'm gonna ignore your chats so I can get through this stuff. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you, but I need to get through this stuff. So that's the Warning, June 12th. It's on a Wednesday, which I'll have to request a day off from work if I can make that happen. But I've already submitted for the lottery, which, oh no, not the lottery, not for this show. So that's the Warning. The show that I submitted for the lottery is for the Tokyo, or actually Kanagawa Hall show. So the details and the tickets have been announced today. If you go to BAND-MAID's official website, then you have the details there. Yes, tickets are available. I believe they're available for overseas too, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. Check, I would say, I don't know if anybody has posted it in BAND-MAID Fans Cafe yet. It is on Twitter X, so you guys can check it out. There are 3 shows for the tour, the hall tour. There's Aichi, there is, I believe it's Osaka, and then Kanagawa. Yes, oh hey, Haramatsu. How are you from Hyogo? So the hall tour, again, 3 shows, and you guys can go ahead and look for the details. I'll try to put it up after I do this live stream. And then the third thing, not as big, but the last video dropped for the Yokohama Arena, sort of a preview of the Blu-ray, which is being sent out on the 27th, so that's next weekend, right? Or next week. And it was Endless Story, which a lot of people seem to have figured out just by the image of Psyche kind of crying. So, hey, what's up, Delson? I'm gonna get to you very soon. So those are the 3 things. They are performing with the Warning on June 12th in Japan, in Tokyo, at X Theater Roppongi. It is part, I believe, of the Warnings tour. That's why it's a smaller venue, I believe. The second is that the hall tour, the details have been announced. The details have been announced, and the tickets are available, so you can submit for the lottery if you guys would like to attend. Even though I'm only 1, I submitted for 2, just in case any one of you might need a ticket, and if I have to, then I'll try to offer it to someone who needs to go, just, because usually there's someone who wants to go. I doubt I would end up with an extra one. I hope not. It's not good to spend money and not have it used. And the third thing is that Endless Story was dropped as the last sort of preview video on YouTube tonight, right after the acoustic. Okay, now let's get to the acoustic. As I said before, it was at Shibuya Line Cube. It is about 2,000 capacity. It's strange. Actually, right next to me, there were 2 seats available. So I don't know who that was, who didn't make it, why they didn't make it, but it's kind of a shame. Anyhow, do you guys want to hear about what happened before the show, or do you want me to go just straight into the show? Because before the show was kind of fun. Oh, actually, I will do a little bit. I'll do a little bit of fan swag. What I got today. So I got these. I got this from a gentleman, I believe his name was Rio. So he made these himself. These are not official. And then this is really cool. Somebody made these for, basically you could put these on whiskey bottles or actually anything. They're basically stickers. made to look like Jack Daniels, but I got a whole set and I hadn't actually requested it. It's from a guy named Genzo. He's on Twitter X. I got that, and then Russ Henry. Russ Henry had requested a set, and it's kind of interesting. Before I knew about these, Russ Henry from the Foxhole had added me. He said at PS1Lim, my Twitter account, my Twitter handle. He said, I would love one of these. I was like, okay, what are those? But yeah, he found me and he gave me these two. So Russ, if you're watching, this is for you. If you're not, this is for you. And SJ, if you like these, then maybe some of these are for you. All right. It was not Mokume herself, but someone who I believe got permission. This was passed out previously, but I got these as well. These are great. This would make a great t-shirt, to be honest. And then some lovely, hey, what's up, Peter? Some lovely BAND-MAID decals, and hold on. How in the world is this? Okay. You know, when you get presents from the land of origami, some things are folded in so many different ways that I don't even know exactly where it starts and where it ends. Can you guys see this decal? Here, maybe it's better this way. It's pretty cool. So it's the girls. Yeah. Nice set of decals. And then this set here. And then I ran into Numu again. Numu is the artist who sketches, who's basically close to, this is the old one. This is from like 5 years ago. And Numu, who is sort of the amazing sketch artist who has been doing these little postcards every single day. I love this photo, or this photo. It looks like a photo. Misa on her phone. But tell me that is not gorgeous. That is just, ugh. You know, when I was younger and I saw Beauty and the Beast, the Disney animated movie, I had fallen so hard and so head over heels for Belle. And that's kind of like when I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness. Just call me the Beast. Yeah, that was the fan swag, and it's really a cool thing how it's perpetuated all of this fan swag and people really kind of pushing the envelope, like how far they can go to make something amazing, to make something different, to contribute to this sort of whirlpool, this whirlwind of just like personal fan art. And it's really crazy. It's really cool. Oh, and SJ, Marshall personally, specifically wanted me to give you this set. So this is gonna be for you. Away from the light. It's a bit small, but quite detailed. Yeah. So it's really, again, it's really cool. And yeah, Mr. 3D figurine guy, amazing stuff. But it's really funny now because I'm kind of used to it, still not totally. I don't think I'm in love with the idea of being known by all these people as I'm walking around, but you know, the whole Peter, Peter. So then there was this big crowd of people who got together for a fan photo, which I think some of you have seen. Again, it's floating around. I reposted it myself on my account, on my Twitter account. And just all these people, Peter, Peter. And I had just drank a Red Bull and I was really tired, so I started just doing my, I don't know if it would be sort of an Asian dance or just a really stupid one. Most likely a stupid one. Okay, that's that. Now, I want to once again thank Delson, good morning, Ken. Delson's how it is from Hawaii, who was unable to attend the show tonight, and so he offered his 2 tickets to me. And it all worked out so that I was able to attend, and then somebody else's friend was able to attend, and then Joe Luna also had extra tickets, so then other people were able to attend, and then Joe Luna happened to have a ticket that was a little bit closer to the stage, so then I got his ticket and somebody else got my, it kind of happens. If you're kind of in this community of BAND-MAID fans who attend shows a lot and who are really generous and are aware kind of who you are and maybe are willing to get you a little bit closer to see the girls, things just kind of happen. So big shout out to Delson. Thank you so much. Again, I would not have had this experience without you. And then Joe Luna as well for getting me a little bit closer. And to all the other fans who just made it really fun. Now, I didn't actually, well, I didn't, not I didn't actually, I didn't do a pre-show interview because I just moved. I was really tired, and I'm actually a kind of introverted guy. I have very, very introverted moments. And I kind of just needed to recharge. So, and I enjoyed interacting with fans today just for the sake of interacting with them and not to like, hey, can I showcase you? Can I showcase you? As fun as that is at times, and I don't mind it, but today I just kind of wanted a little bit of me time. So I hope you guys understand that. At the next show, there is no acoustic armor. The last Christmas acoustic, that was really for the Christmas event. Remember, it was the whole sort of Jedi look was really more because they were like reindeer. It was like Psyche's thing, sort of the beigeish brown and then the maroon, and then Misa in that stark just contrast of just red popping out. Yeah. Now, it was great to meet a lot of different people. There is one guy, SJ, if you are still watching, his name is John. He's from Nebraska. His son introduced him to BAND-MAID. Hey, what's up, Ryan? His son had introduced him to BAND-MAID. And I think they might be a good pair to talk to. So I'm going to follow up on them. But it was really cool to see. Really young guy. And yeah, it was like, that's really cool. They were huddled up watching the Christmas acoustic on Christmas. So that was pretty funny. So as far as the acoustic Akugis, the last one that they had, a pure acoustic Akugi, was back in 2019. It was at Hewlett Hall, and this was back 2019, I want to say either end of March or beginning of April, around there. Why can't I remember the details? It was a pretty short set. I feel like it was less than 10 songs, and it was promoted as an acoustic and a talk. Hey, Ricardo, what's up? Tonight, it was 14 songs. Let me actually do the set list real quickly, too, because with my brain, if I don't go through this stuff when it comes to me, then it'll just pass me by. All right, so some of you have seen the set list, but let me go over this for you. If you guys don't mind, let me get this ready. Okay, So tonight, here we go. There were 14 songs total. Um, Alone, No God, Catharsis, Wonderland, Choose Me, uh, Psyche doing solo again, and I'll go into like how it was broken down. Different, Manners, Sayo Nakidori, Corallium, Smile, Bubble, which was weird because right before they played Bubble, I was thinking back, let's see, what did they play in 2019? And I remembered Bubble, and as soon as I thought, oh yeah, they played Bubble, like 5 seconds after the song finished, Bubble starts playing again. That's number 11. HGK, which I really love the acoustic version of HGK. Mirage, and SJ, your favorite, Daydreaming. And Daydreaming was something special. Um, Daydreaming is one of those things where you're like, God damn, I really wish I was there. Okay. Uh, Now, we walked in, we sat down. There's a front section, and then a middle section, and then a back section. And yeah, I was in the front of the middle section, a little bit closer towards between Psyche and Konami side. Um, the setup of the stage, all of them were up in front. So rather than having Akane in the back, she was placed where she was for the last rock stars. So she was actually on the far end. How do you, I don't, is it stage left? If you're looking at the stage, it's on the left. So it was Akane, and then it was Miku, and then it was Misa in the middle, and then it was Psyche, and then it was Konami. So it's the five of them. Stage right, got it, because you're on the stage right. Okay. And then the backdrop, they went for a very nature type of, yeah, a sort of nature type of backdrop, but not Western, not Western nature. Like it gave sort of a moss, very large falling backdrop of moss in the back. The branches themselves were very just like windy and curved. There were lamps, like with actual lamp stands and lamp shades. Their chairs, it looked like sort of like a red velvet with wood around it. And there appeared to be what looked like a table. It actually reminded me of New Beginning, that photo shoot where they're all like, drinking and eating and serving food. But what looked like a table turned out to be a platform. It was covered like in white cloth, and that part was used a lot as well. But it was really cool. It really did feel like it was a stage production. It didn't feel like it was a stage that was a stage dressing that looked like it was for a musical performance. It felt like it was more like an acting performance. And in some ways, what I really enjoyed about the acoustic was that it does give the nuances and the subtleties of acting that a BAND-MAID show typically doesn't, and I dare say can't. Or if it can, they don't really sort of delve or push too deep into that. Yes, that was all done previously, Ricardo. So, let me go over first my thought of an acoustic show. And I had these thoughts when I was watching the Christmas acoustic. Has it been 3 years already? 2.5 years? 2021, I believe. Or is it? Yeah. The acoustic and an acoustic show, it really allows musicians to breathe a little bit more. And as I mentioned, you get a lot of nuances, and there's a delicacy that you can achieve, especially when you compare that with what BAND-MAID offers typically at one of their shows. And it's not that they can't do it, it's just that they don't, because they're going for something more hard. That's rock, right? Now, what I love about the acoustic sessions that I see from BAND-MAID anytime is that melody and vocals are king, queen, whatever you want to call it, primary, um, master, princess. But as somebody who, even though I do play guitar and other instruments, for me, it's the vocals that really grab me the most and how a person performs. That's why my attention really goes to a front person for the most part. But what I noticed at the Christmas Acoustic is that to me, the standouts were the vocals with Psyche and with Miku, the arrangements of the whole set, the whole songs, and then Misa. Because Misa's bass lines are not typical bass lines. They're very melodic. They walk and they wander and they meander a lot. So when you have Akane who's using hot sticks, the rods, and she's playing and she's not going full on and just blasting, those beats, and you have Konami who isn't sort of shredding it up, but keeping the rhythm, adding, a few flourishes here and there, but it's still minimal, especially compared to what she usually does. And then you have Miku who's basically just strumming, then it really becomes a backdrop. Like Akane, Miku, and Konami for the most part are just the backdrop where you have the vocals really just shining, which is why the harmonies really stand out. It's really beautiful. And then just Misa just doing her thing, and she adds another layer of just melody going around. And tonight, I'm talking about the Christmas, but tonight at tonight's acoustic, it reaffirmed that. Everything about what I had thought about the Christmas acoustic was reaffirmed tonight when I was watching them play. And it's so beautiful. And one song that I'll point out first is when Psyche did Choose Me Again. So if you guys, I think most of you would know if you're watching this, but Psyche did Choose Me for the first time solo while playing the keys. And she had been practicing for a while. If you guys remember from a few years back during the COVID times, I want to say 2021, but it could be 2020. 2020, Day of Maid. Psyche did a little bit on the keys and she was really nervous and really freaking out. Oh, you were there. Ah, Gage. Ah, that's a shame. Hey, I'm glad you went though. She does for some of the acoustics to the Colin too. I'm okay. Sorry. So with Psyche, especially tonight because it's a smaller venue, just the acoustics and the reverb. Oh God, it's just so rich and so full. And Line Cube Shibuya, the venue itself. I mean, it's a seated venue. It's like it's stacked. There's 3 floors. And it really is like a place where people do, I think, stage productions where there is acting going on. But just the acoustics of that place and hearing Psyche sing, like when she was just singing, when you hear her breathe, that breathing, just the inhaling, the exhaling, just the nuances, like you cannot get this kind of stuff at a typical BAND-MAID show. The kind of things that Psyche can throw out, and it's delicate, it's coquettish, it's playful, it's sweet. It carves really deep. It's very soulful, and I think there's only so much that you can get of that again at a typical BAND-MAID show because you have all these things going on behind her, which is amazing and which we love. But when it's stripped down to just the vocals and just one instrument playing, I mean, there's this intimacy that you get. There's again this intimacy, the soulfulness that you get, and tonight was just wow. Um, that was just one thing. That was just one moment, but it was just gorgeous. So, um, I don't know if I should go through every single song. And to be honest, there were a few cameras there. I don't know what they'll use it for. There was one guy between the first section and then the middle section. So there was like this empty sort of aisle space to walk through. And this guy was moving back and forth with his camera. And as he was walking back and forth, I was like, I would love to smack you down, knock you down, and have you not get back up because that's really annoying. Like, I was just like, geez, Mr. Pendulum, can you stop? But if they can put out a video with that and it's nice, then I'll forgive him. And if they don't put out anything, then shame on you, Mr. Man. It's Abstain. How's it going? Now, Alone was really great. They started off with Alone, and as you would imagine, it's a gorgeous melody. But with what stood out to me in Alone, and which BAND-MAID does with their acoustics, is that since Konami can't really do like all this crazy stuff on her acoustic, what they exchange it for are these really amazing, sweet vocal arrangements, these harmonies. It could just be a few notes, but the way that Psyche harmonizes with Miku, and even the way that Konami harmonizes as well, oh, just beautiful. And they did that with Alone. Man, yeah, it's just one of those moments where you're just like, what are they gonna do during her solo part? And you listen, you're like, oh, it's maybe like only maybe 5% of the notes that are played compared to Konami solo. But that 5% of notes, as few as they are, the harmonies with it, oh God, this sounds wrong, I'm a melody whore. I love good melodies. Like almost more than anything else, I love a good melody, and it was good stuff. They went on to No God and Catharsis, and it was, I mean, you guys, for those of you who watched the Christmas acoustic, more or less the same. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't heard the Christmas acoustic for a while, but I think Misa's bass solo was different. It was a little bit more groovy, a little bit more blues to it, if I'm mistaken. Wonderland was so good. Yeah. It is. If you guys have seen SJ and Destiny's interview with Nitpick, and Nitpick is sort of this up-and-coming reactor who has gained quite a few fans with her ability to kind of delve into a song and give some insight, and just, just her love of just seeing and watching BAND-MAID play. But Destiny's song recommendation was Wonderland, SJ's was Daydreaming. Both of those songs came out tonight, and I was like, oh man, you guys really would have loved that. But Wonderland was really good. I can't remember the details exactly. Again, it's just, but it's really Psyche, My first time hearing Wonderland and thinking, oh man, Psyche's not quite hitting the notes. She's not quite getting that high note, that falsetto. It's not quite there. And tonight, it's just like, she was at it, in it, with it. And people have said this before online, I've seen it, and I don't think it's really hard to deny, but out of all the members in the past few years especially, the biggest growth, the greatest maturity musically is the Psyche. Her vocals have taken on just this whole other level. And at previous shows from previous years, you could see the sort of the strain, the push. You could hear it, you could feel it. There was this again, the force was there. But tonight, Psyche was just in that pocket, and really, it was just so good. It was just so good. Um, she's yeah. I mean, there is a reason why I've probably heard. There's a reason why I've probably heard Psyche's voice more than any other voice in my lifetime. Not as much last year because I was looking into all these other bands and listening to all this other music. But from the time that I came to Japan in 2018 um, until like the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, I kid you not, I probably listened to more of Psyche's voice, and if you combine all those hours together, I've probably heard her voice more than I have my mom or any of my sisters. Um, Maybe it's a competition between, maybe my best friends, but she's just such a beautiful vocalist. I don't think she's like the strongest vocalist out there. I don't think she's the most like incredibly charismatic. Like when you think of like front people, like whether it be Tina Turner or Freddie Mercury or Bono or I don't whoever it is, whoever you think is sort of just massive as a front person. I don't think she's quite in that category, but what she brings to the table, I mean, good God, it's a buffet still, and it really is never ending. She offers so much, and especially in an acoustic setting, I think you really get these subtleties and shades of Psyche that you will never hear. Again, you will never ever hear at a typical bandmate show. And when I say typical, I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's boring, it's just typical, it's humdrum. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying compared to the acoustic, it's just, you can't get that. Um, the colors you get. I mean, whatever words you want to use, whatever vocabulary you want to throw out there. But in the end, Psyche does these things where, I was thinking of how previously Psyche had, attempted to be an actor, had attempted to be a dancer, not attempted, I mean, she was doing these things. She was acting, she was dancing. There were these disciplines, and with those things, there's this sort of awareness of things, the subtlety. There's again this nuance that I think Psyche does bring, and she does have. You don't hear it as much on recordings, but god damn, it's so, you feel it. You feel it. It's like, mm, ah, when you see a flag waving in the wind and the way it just kind of goes with it, like that's kind of something that you get from Psyche at an acoustic session that you don't get at a full on, like all the instruments blazing, guns a blazing. It's a different story. They went into different, which we've heard before. They did Manners, but Manners was done slightly different too. It was slightly different. And I can't remember exactly how, but it was. So Choose Me, it was Psyche doing solo on the keys. And then it was different with Psyche and Konami. And Konami was so happy and so nervous and excited. She did the high pitch. And to this day, when she gets really high pitched, like that dog whistle high tone, and she just kind of like, I don't know what she's saying, because it really, to me, it sounds like. And I'm not picking on her, it's adorable, but I just don't understand. And when Konami was coming on stage to join Psyche after Choose Me, she was like strumming her guitar and playing their latest song, Psyche, Psyche, Psyche. But yeah, with Psyche and Konami, they did different. And then with Manners, Misa came in. And then Sayonaki Dori, Psyche and Konami left, and then Miku and Akane came on stage. And then after that, they did Corellium, and then it was just Psyche and Konami again. So it was this weird sort of like, again, musical chairs this really funny thing. So, uh, Corellium, it just sounded so different without all the instrumentation. I was like, I know this song, and for a second I was like, is this sense? Is this sense? No, it's not sense. What is this? Because it was like, I had those songs bunched together. I was like, this isn't Hibana. And I was like, oh, so it's got to be Corellium. I was like, oh yeah. But the chords just it just sounded so different with just the acoustic and the chords playing, so I couldn't call it, but it's great still. Um, they did Smile, and they did yeah, Smile is great. I would still one day love to hear Smile with the strings in the back. I really, really love the strings like on the recorded track. So if they could make that happen, even if it is just a backing track, I mean, one day when they get really big and they have like, you know, the whole orchestra playing, like I'll adore that. But a backing track, I wouldn't mind. They did Bubble, and Bubble was changed up a little bit. And here's another thing too. In 2019, when they did Bubble on the acoustic, that was a song where I remember thinking, Psyche isn't quite getting it. This is not a cat. This is a deer. Hi, dear. Hey, dear. This is for my dog, but he doesn't really like it that much. Um, all right, man. You enjoy. Watch the rest. Maybe there's something special waiting for you when you come back. Sayonaki Dori. To be honest, it didn't totally. Maybe Jackalope sounds right. It didn't totally stand out. It was about the same. It was about the same. But yeah, Bubble was, it felt a little bit different, and it was a lot more mature, a lot more comfortable. They did change the arrangement up a little bit, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Bubble also had like a sort of vocal harmony section, really simple, but just again beautiful. Um, I know BAND-MAID is known for their controlled chaos. They're known for their methodical madness in terms of the instrumentation, all kind of like playing all at once and making this whirlwind of just magic. But I'll say this, when BAND-MAID does choose to go simple, when they choose to go simple, it's pristine. And the melodies that they come up with, I don't know if it's Konami or if it's Miku, Psyche, they work on it together, but oh geez, it's so good. It's so good. They did HGK, which again it's I love the acoustic version. It's a different creature, but it's really cool. I love it. And then they had Mirage, which was also, I love Mirage. Actually, I love Mirage a lot live when Misa's just getting into the groove. Like I love that. And thankfully for the acoustic, you hear it really well because she also gets into the groove, and she's got this, just the way she kind of moves while she's playing, getting into it. Tonight, like the other acoustic sessions, Konami tends to go a little bit more jazzy. She adds like those major sevenths and those seven chords, the dominance. And just again, it's more funkified, it's jazzified, and it's cool. It's nice to hear that. And then the last song, the keys were brought back out again. It's like, whoa, what? And then it was Daydreaming, and that too, Psyche just killed it. I mean, if I had to choose one person, I'll say Psyche was the star, and she usually is when it comes to acoustic because it's the vocals. And again, she's allowed to breathe a lot more life, and I don't know if the correct word is theatrics, but there's a lot more that you get, you know, the little winks, the little like smiles, all those things. Whirlwind of Magic sounds like some fantasy novel. I don't think that's gonna fly. But daydreaming with Psyche on the keys, all of them playing, that was a moment where I got really emotional because in the same way that people really applaud and celebrate Miku going from not playing guitar to being a rhythm guitarist and vocalist to becoming a really good rhythm guitarist plus vocalist. Um, I mean, with Psyche going from again not playing anything to doing the keys and now playing all together, I mean, this is a legit step, a legit evolution. And I don't know if Psyche will be doing the keys when it comes to like their full electric set, but damn, that was really cool. To see that, I got emotional. I definitely was just like, oh man, Psyche, you made a decision and you chose to learn something and you went at it, and she did amazing. Like again, the way she was tickling the ivories, just again, it's just there are certain people who have a certain touch. There's a lightness, there's a delicacy, which I think again, people don't experience a lot of on BAND-MAID records, but Psyche has it in spades. Psyche has the delicacy. When you hear those songs, like when you hear Band Michael, right? When you hear Awkward, when you hear Anemone, just oof, so good. But yeah, daydreaming was something. Mm, that's definitely a keeper for the ages. So that was a set. It was only 14 songs. I didn't expect them to do anything beyond 20, even that. So this is definitely within the range that I expected. And then they spent about 30 minutes having this adult talk time. And not adult talk time like adult, like adult videos. It was grown up time. So they did their own little like jiko shokai, which is like self introduction and hi, like I'm Psyche, and Konami's like, hi, I'm Konami the guitarist, and Psyche is my oshi, she's my favorite. Um, and they ended up recounting the past year, all the way up until now. So they went back through all. Well, in my brain, it's the tattoos, but it's their 10th anniversary tour. So going through like a lot of the details, going over Lollapalooza, and how Mike from Incubus basically introduced himself to them with a carton of milk. Hey guys, there's some milk over there. um, Psyche basically pretty much collapsing after the Lollapalooza set because it was so hot and she was so exhausted and almost got heat stroke. So she's like, arigato, got off stage and just couldn't take it. Misa had, I believe, sunburns on her feet for being out there for so long. She's, can you imagine those little fishnets? Was she wearing those fishnets or was it a different pair of stockings? I don't know. And Psyche talking about wanting a Budokan revenge or Budokan. And basically Budokan revenge is to have a chance to go to Budokan this time. So they are going to push for that. And so expect to hear at some point in the future that Budokan will be taking place. They they definitely do want to be an arena band. They want to be able to play like large shows, and even God, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, Budokan, I mean, when they do Budokan, it'll have been 4 years in the making if it's this year, 5 years if it's next. So, no, actually, it was supposed to be 2021, my bad. It was when it was announced. So it'll be 4 to 5 years in the making. No, 3 to 4. Jeez, 3 to 4. But yeah, so they were hanging out, they were just talking and just talking about the past year, 10th anniversary, Yokohama Arena. And then you know, playing with Incubus this year, the hall shows. Uh, of course, Psyche has to throw in a little merch promotion. And then, oh, they had this really cool thing. They had this really cool time where, you know how on special occasions, the band prepares sort of their own personal sort of uh, effect. So this time around, Akane had the tom head, a signed tom head, and then Misa had this really long cable she had used for playing bass. Um, Konami had the pick holders that you put on the mic, so she had one of those. Psyche had the checker, the black and white checker bow um, T-shirt, and she signed it. And then Miku had this little tray. I couldn't see it very well, and she was trying to describe it, but this little tray, and there was, I believe, like a dove art drawing something in the middle, and you could put your picks there. And so they actually dipped into a box, and they pulled it out, and they were like floor 1, row 20, seat 5. And it was really cool. They passed the box around, so each member picked up a piece of paper, like a lottery. And if you were sitting there and you were called, then you won whatever it was that the member offered. And then Miku was last. It's really funny. She was looking at it, she's like, oh, sugoi. It's like, well, what? And then she starts reading it off. And then she goes, floor 2, row 2, seat 2. 222. So, but yeah, good for them. Good for them. I pretty much knew, like, my luck is terrible when it comes to lotteries, so yeah, I kind of figured there's no chance. And then I rushed back home because my dog has the tendency, he's looking at me now. See that? Hi. It was my first time today to be away from him, with him by himself. And he has, especially nowadays, separation anxiety. So there's a little bit of damage done to my new place. And yeah, I'm gonna have to get him a dog crate because he just can't handle being without me. But it was a good night. It was really fun. I was really happy to have experienced this acoustic show. His name is Suho. Suho, Suho, say hi. Say hi. Suho, say hi. He's not in the mood to say hi. Yeah, as I mentioned, it was great to just say hi to people and just talk to them without the pressure of recording it. But it did rain. The last 2 shows, so this show plus the Yokohama spin-off show, it was raining and it was windy, and that was really frustrating. I know that Akane sang backup at the Christmas acoustic. I don't remember her doing it. I did see Misa do it. I saw Misa doing it, but for some reason I don't recall seeing Akane. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I'm not sure. Maybe someone else knows. But yeah, the whole set dressing was really cool. Just enjoying the different arrangements, just enjoying Psyche's voice, enjoying just the harmonies between her and then with Miku and with Konami added, and so good, man. Like I said, anytime they throw in these vocal arrangements, really simple, and they have these harmonies in lieu of Konami solo, it's just as good to me. I mean, man, like my heart is moved by that stuff. So it was a good set. It was a good set. Somebody asked me today, what song do you want to hear? Since you're always asking people, what do you want to hear at a show? And I didn't think about it. I remember Blooming just came to mind, but that'd be cool to hear someday. Um, yeah, so it was good. It was a good show. I'm glad I went. I'm sure you guys wish you were there. As I say, BAND-MAID is one of the best bands at creating. I was gonna say mofo, not mofo, FOMO. My life is so backwards. Yeah, the fear of missing out. BAND-MAID is like they're the master. They should have a master class on FOMO. Um, but for those of you who couldn't attend, there's a glimmer of hope because there were cameras there and they were recording, but I don't know again what it'll be used for. Um, yeah, Budokan is gonna happen. It will happen, it's just a matter of when exactly. Um, and it's good. It's good to see these girls grow and mature and do something that's a lot more simple than what they usually do. But by simple, I don't mean less. Um, yeah, again, for me, I love the focus on the vocals. I love the focus on the harmonies, just the simple arrangement of the songs, and just the bass. Misa doing her thing. Yeah, I wouldn't. I was thinking that being on BAND-MAID Prime, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so no, Billy Billy only happens when a fan decides to illegally put up a video. You guys know everything on Billy is illegally posted there by some fans. Um, Anyhow, I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. As much as I know people appreciate it and fans are discovered, but that's not for me to discuss here. Yeah, it's been just about an hour. I want to thank you guys for having kept up with me. Again, I moved here 2 days ago, and I still don't have gas. Well, I do have internal gas, but I don't have gas, so I have not been able to take a hot shower. Today, I used a kettle to heat some water up, pre-boiling, and just pour it on myself. I have fears of my dog barking or destroying this place, but we'll see what happens. And this is going to be the start of some really good stuff. Um, yeah, for those of you who know how much I love Hades as musicians and as friends, they had a show tonight. They have a show coming up on Saturday. Sada, the singer, also has a show on Sunday. And there's just tons of show happening everywhere. So from now on, it's really gonna have to be me deciding which show to attend. But again, that's a whole nother story, a whole nother video. But yeah, um, welcome to my home. This is where I will be doing my live streams and my interviews from now on. And there is stuff coming up that's was previously recorded back in Hyogo, close to Osaka. Yeah, okay. Before I wrap up, I'm gonna give you guys just a couple of minutes if you have any last minute questions about the show with the warning, about the hall shows, or about tonight's show, or about the Yokohama Arena Blu-ray. So I'll wait. And as a reminder, if you like the warning as well, they are playing June 12th, June 13th in Tokyo, June 14th in Osaka. So far away now. When's the housewarming? I did invite the Hades ladies to come by. I'm gonna cook them up some Korean food. Yeah, Maya is always shouting in the back. A collab with the warning. It's very possible. Again, we don't know. We can assume. Yeah, we knew something was going to be happening with the warning. As far as a collaboration on a song, on a track on the new album, why not? But especially nowadays, because I mean, they can digitally just throw stuff back and forth, so that's not a problem at all. What you do lose when you do that is, again, that sense of being together. The sound is different, you know, there is a slight bit of separation, but it can be good enough. If you guys remember how Unseen World was done with COVID happening, I mean, they were all in their own little compartments and like passing things around. Oh, yeah, no problem at all, Neil. No problem at all. I'm happy to share. This is my job. This is what I'm here for, to let you guys know what's going down. Did I miss it? What were they wearing? Who? BAND-MAID? They were wearing clothes. You will cook. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Um, with the warning being here for 3 days, maybe a little bit more. Ah, again, I who knows exactly what's gonna happen, but definitely, as I said, I think this year is gonna be a lot of sort of surprises. And I was thinking this real quickly before I wrap up. I was thinking this as I was walking my dog. I was like, BAND-MAID would be really good at horror movies, because you know how in horror movies you're sort of like, there's a little surprise, like, oh, it's a scary moment. Oh, just kidding, it's an actual scary moment. And it's like, oh, just kidding, here's an actual scary moment. I think BAND-MAID's very good about surprising people, like with this and then with this and then with this, and you're like, what? So, um, yeah, there's definitely gonna be stuff that will be surprises. They will definitely surprise us, as they usually do. So far, again, they've confirmed what we knew, or what some of us had believed, in terms of their interaction or their collaboration with Incubus, The Warning. And the only other Western group that has that sort of connection, at least from what we've seen in the previous year or two, is with Slipknot. Um, with the clown, all those photos. So they definitely have somewhat of a relationship. So if there is another announcement with another band from the West, don't be surprised if Slipknot ends up being the third in that triad. There may be more, who knows, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I'll say now, The Warning is huge. They're getting a lot of traction recently, especially with the songs that they put out, the videos that they put out. Their last music video they put out, I forget what it's called. It's really good. It's a really, really good song. And one thing, I think that Konami's musical genius is her greatest strength, but it can also be her Achilles heel, because Konami always wants to do more and something different and beyond and push and push. But with that, the question is, will the general public be able to follow musically where Konami wants to go, and hence where BAND-MAID ends up going? Because when you have a band like The Warning, like, I'm of course much more a BAND-MAID fan. I do like some of the things The Warning has put out, not all of it. It doesn't grab me, but oh, Sick, yeah, that's a song. But with The Warning, they've got one really strong riff, you know? They've got really catchy melodies. It's really just like sort of to the point. So it's really stripped down. Um, but with BAND-MAID, we know they don't really do stripped down too much. They like to like pack things chock full. So as you dig and you dig and you dig, I mean, there's just more and more and more to be found. So it's just a thought, I wonder if the general public will be able to follow Konami's sort of musical sort of aspirations in terms of what she wants to do. Because she always wants to evolve, Like, Konami is sort of this musical Pokemon, and there's this constant evolution. and you really don't quite know what she's going to end up fully maturing into, because it just seems like there's no end to it. And because she is spearheading BAND-MAID musically, um, where BAND-MAID will end up musically and where they'll evolve and where they'll land. So, I mean, you can totally drop your thoughts and your opinions on it, but I I can't see the general public following everything that Konami plus BAND-MAID does or will do. I don't see that happening. Um, and they're definitely not ones to compromise. So, but we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm never one to say, oh, this is the only way. This is how it is. It's a thought. So, food for thought. Okay, guys, I want to thank you so much once again for keeping up. Thank you for being with me for this acoustic. And I am going to see you guys. I will be there at the Incubus show, which is May 1st. And then I will also be there at the Day of Maid show, May 10th. And then, oh, here's the thought that I had. April 1st, there's been no mention, which is understandable, because of course they would want it to be a surprise. So this year, there is room. This year, there is room for them to do something on April Fool's Day. I don't know if they'll bring back Maiko. I think a lot of us loved that album, loved the sound. But just, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open for something to drop April Fools. I don't know if they will, but I do think it's possible. I think there's a stronger possibility this year than at any other time. So, and if there's nothing, you didn't hear it from me. Okay, guys, I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna try to get some rest. I've got my fridge coming in tomorrow and gas and a bunch of stuff. So, you guys enjoy the week, and thank you for having kept up. Krupo. I don't think so, especially with how BAND-MAID is moving along. Klupo happened because of COVID. Yeah. So I don't think so. But that's just me. Okay, guys. I'll see you again. You guys have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good whatever it is. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Get your sleep. Eat your food. Voice I would love to hear live very much. Good night, guys. Thank you. おやすみなさい。おはようございます。こんにちは。ハロー。ヤッホー。バイバイ。See you guys.